Hi, Paul here from DDPM. Today we're going to talk about our brand new 6.0 Power Stroke Diesel Stage 2 Warpath head. Stay tuned. Our philosophy with this cylinder head is to provide balanced airflow, intake and exhaust. The stock 6.0 Power Stroke Diesel exhaust side is very lame. It doesn't flow a lot of air. Folks that are running larger turbochargers, compound systems, larger injectors, they need to get that exhaust energy out through the manifolds, through the up pipes, to the backside of the turbo to help it spool. And also reduce EGTs. We have designed this head for is a balanced street head that flows well on the intake and flows really well on the exhaust. Our philosophy with the Warpath Stage 2 head started with the intake side. So what we did was we took our Stage 3 port and we stopped the CNC program right here. And we transitioned this back into a stock runner. So your stock manifold will bolt on, it fit and function and everything. There's no modifications need to be done there. And we did just the bulwark and about 2 inches up in the runner. We open this area up. So when the airflow comes in, it comes around the short side radius. We also open up the throat and directed the airflow towards the valve. On the exhaust side of a 6.0 Power Stroke, OEM and aftermarket OEM, they don't flow that well. When you start upgrading your injectors and your turbos and you're demanding more air, it also can do is raise your drive pressures when you're on stock runners on the exhaust side. What we did was we took our Black Label Stage 3 exhaust port, the full port, and we just added it into our Stage 2 head. It's one of the most highest flowing exhaust ports on the market today. What it'll do is it'll give you faster turbo spool, less drive pressures, and lower EGTs. Our Warpath Stage 2 uses the same machining practices as our iron core heads in all of our heads. We unshroud the intake and exhaust valves. We have the O-ringing options at no extra charge. You can also upgrade the valves. We have that as an option, and also the springs. We do have the options on our website for different rate springs depending on what you're doing with your application. I know a lot of folks are going to ask us, how does your head compare to other heads out there? So we float them all. We float every single one of them out there that compare to our Stage 2. So we float them on our bench, our terms, our calibrations. Everybody's flow numbers are going to be a little bit different. They usually vary between 8 and 10 CFM, more or less, depending on what flow bench, ambient air outside, and other little factors of valve lift consistency as you're opening the valve. So this is our 6.0 comparison to a Warpath head, one single port. And where our philosophy is getting the energy in fast. We'll start with the intake side. You can see all the other competitors at 100 lift, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400. Any of these numbers up here are irrelevant. The reason we put those up there, you know, the 450 to 500 is for the hero numbers. Everybody likes to talk about, hey, my head flows 190 CFM. They always look at those peak numbers. The numbers that actually matter the most is where the camshaft, the time and area of the camshaft spends most of its time. It's usually about half of it. Most cams are between 350 and 400 lift. That's their peak valve lift. They don't spend a majority of the time there. They spend majority of the time between 100 and about 250. Really the sweet spot's about 200. Our philosophy with our intake and exhaust runners, we'll start with the intake, is getting the area or the mass flow in very fast, down low. Faster turbo spool, faster response. Folks that are towing or on the street, they want their power now. They want that turbo to light fast. They want the energy in as soon as possible. That gives you the best driving experience. not a port that's lazy down low and flows a bunch up top. That's going to give you a very lazy turbo spool. It's going to give you a very lazy response down low. It's almost like a light switch, on and off, on and off. This particular head is balanced in a way with the airflow, and our philosophy is a lot different than most. Let's get the air in as fast as we can. If you can see, at 50 lift, we're at 60 CFM. At 100 lift, we're at 89 CFM. At 150 lift, we're at 115. You can see our flow curve is very, very strong early and carries it. Just like our camshafts, we like them in strong early and we like to carry them. Our intake flow, as you can see, with comparison to a ProMax, other competitors cast aluminum, competitors cast iron stage 1, or our Warpath Stage iron, and also the stock head, you can see the stock head, how it flows. In comparison, a stock head at 30, it's about 36 CFM at 50 lift. We're at 60 already, we're almost double. And you can see all our competitors' heads, they're pretty close. So this head is a really, really well balanced for the intake side. Now on the exhaust side, where it counts the most on a 6 liter, you can see why we used our stage 3 exhaust port in our stage 2 head program. At 50 lift, 38.53 from stock. At 100, 48 to 79. At 150, 60 to 104. At 200, 76 to 125. You can see our exhaust curve blows everybody's out of the water. Average flow lift numbers are very important too. Down here, our average flow numbers are 100 to 400 lift. You can see the stock, ProMax, competitors as cast aluminum, competitors iron head, and also our stage 2 head. The average numbers are where it really counts, because that's where the camshaft and the valve events spend most of their time, not peak flow numbers. You can get a head that flows well over 200 CFM, but it's really lazy down low. This is a very balanced street application head, mid-range power, where you spend most of your time. Our Stage 2 Warpath head for the 6.0 is a very well-balanced, high-performance street head. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us anytime, comment below. We'll see you on the next one.